Crypto Show. This is Tuesday, May of the 8th, and it's another great day, and we are broadcasting live every single day, both on YouTube and our Facebook group, and we are live on Facebook as well. How are you guys doing? Vitaly Dubin is here, founder and creator of Bitcoin's Pulse Lab system, and I am super excited for another episode of Today in Crypto Show. This is Tuesday, May the 8th, so prepare your favorite coffee or tea or whatever you are drinking, green smoothie in the morning or afternoon or evening, whatever you are in the world. Welcome to this show. We are covering every day the latest and greatest news that are happening with the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market. Is always something going on. Crypto never sleeps. So I have a lot to cover today with you. How the Bitcoin futures introduced back in mid-December and the Bitcoin whales affect the Bitcoin prices, and still going on today. Is EOS overpriced, and why Warren Buffett is wrong, and a bunch of other news. So let's get started, guys. Let me know how do you feel? How's your week going? Let's start with our market. So we're seeing a rebound. Market is rebounding, definitely gaining $7 billion in market cap over the last 24 hours, $440 billion. And surprise, surprise, we have about 13 cryptocurrencies delisted from crypto coin market cap, which is good. We're essentially want to see only the winning cryptocurrencies showing up in the coin market cap. So Bitcoin right now is trading, guys, at $9,320, which is a steady price over the last 24 hours. So we are testing this $10,000 support. You know, there's some resistance at the $10,000 level, of course, but it's a psychological break. And once we break that, there is several positive news that we might hit that soon. So as soon as it breaks $10,000, we can see Bitcoin rally up to $11,000 and $12,000 pretty shortly after that. Ethereum is on the rise, 3.38%. Ripple is kind of steady. Bitcoin Cash is steady. EOS is now at $15.5 billion in market cap. And I will talk a little bit more about EOS today, which is called Ethereum on steroid. And it's interesting enough that still the EOS project has not launched yet as its own ecosystem separate than Ethereum. If it plans to upgrade what Ethereum is doing, why they're still, getting their tokens as part of the Ethereum network ERC20. So pretty much the market is stable. What we're seeing Bitcoin at 171%, and this is beautiful to see. This is something, guys, that happens quite often in the crypto space, that is volatile, can see large swings, like 3 digits in the last 24 hours, guys. IOTA is up 18%. So congratulations for all of you guys holding those coins, and we're seeing big and bigger gainers, definitely Bitcoin and one of them. And Khalif Coin, XPA, Super Bitcoin, that's another fork for Bitcoin. So that's very interesting, guys. So we're seeing the crypto market rebounds. Bitcoin at $9,400 trading right now. The best performer is ZRX. And if you click on here, ZRX, what it's called, 0x. OX, you'll see the price this month, like last month of April, has been steadily up, since low here of $0.5 all the way to crossing almost $1.8. So really awesome gain for the best performer of the last month, 0x. Now May 7th theory here did not happen, guys. It was all FUD by the WCSG report of Paul Vigna, and Box Mining tweeted today as well. Seems like somebody just confirmed no SEC meeting today. It was FUDed, which stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt. The market was fake news, and everybody was shaking and trembling what the SEC is going to say about Ethereum. And like we already stated, that the founding team of Ethereum and Joseph Lubin already emphasized that Ether is not a security, and the US government does not consider Ether a security nor Bitcoin a security because it's not owned by anybody. Okay, so it's not a security, it's a utility token, and because of it's a cryptocurrency, and because of that, nothing to afraid of, guys, nothing to afraid of. All is good. So there is no security that we people were afraid of, or whether it's going to be a security or not. Why Bitcoin is going to rise in value, at least on the short term, we see Goldman Sachs, like I said before, is entering and has entered the cryptocurrency trading platform with its development of its own crypto trading desk, which is huge. He has huge reach of Goldman Sachs, of a lot of investors with a lot of money. So that's one good thing. Regulations are getting clearer with the SEC, and they're definitely saying that Bitcoin is not a security, it is a cryptocurrency. And we have the upcoming blockchain week in New York City, guys, on May 11th and May 12th, which is really down the road. And historically speaking, after the gathering of this annual event in New York City around May, the price of Bitcoin has been going up. Okay, so the combination of these factors, he says Bitcoin price through the higher supports of 12 and 14,000, we are going to start another significant bull run. So really awesome news. Now the top billionaires, we have Bill Gates saying that I'd short Bitcoin, and it called, even though he's invested money into Bitcoin, and he appears into he appeared in the news talking about Bitcoin because of the risk factor of Bitcoin. He has alternative long-term investments that he deems better for himself, for the asset class. And if he would short Bitcoin, meaning he would bet that Bitcoin will go down, that he would. And this guy Munger, Charles Munger, which is a friend of Warren Buffett, that runs his firm Berkshire Hathaway, interesting enough, it moves up in the degree of how he bashes Bitcoin and how he compares that to like trading baby brains. Suppose you can make a lot of money trading freshly harvested baby brains. Would you do it, or would you say that's immoral? What he thinks that Bitcoin is almost as bad as an idea, and is a combination of the dimension immorality. Okay, and of course that stems from supporting Warren Buffett and the big firm, and they're not the biggest proponents of Bitcoin. But here's why Warren Buffett and Charles Munger are absolutely dead wrong when it comes to Bitcoin. And we talked already about that, but they don't understand Bitcoin. They don't. They are at the 80s, and for somebody that doesn't use email, how possibly can he appreciate a new technology like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? They can't. And for the record, if somebody invested in the stock of Berkshire Hathaway, this company that runs by Warren Buffett, he'll be sitting on 30% profits, whereas if a couple years ago you invested into Bitcoin, you'll be done 100 times better. So you see, this is what happens about the technology, right? Warren Buffett, they don't understand there is actually technological infrastructure behind Bitcoin. So, and and Musk also, Elon Musk, the billionaire, another billionaire investor and the founder of Tesla, also kind of teases Warren Buffett, and he's saying moats are lame, and they're not, basically Warren Buffett was always like talking about holding a competitive advantage in the marketplace by moating, that's how he called the business. So in any case, he's going to open a crypto candy uh, just for starting a new candy company to take a Berkshire's moat to spike the ball. So anyways, enough with Warren Buffett and his friend who doesn't understand about Bitcoin. Now, Federal Reserve guys, they're thinking about creating the Fed coin. We'll talk about that in just a second. But the Federal Reserve, what happened is in the mid-December when the prices rose, they introduced the Bitcoin futures. Remember the big spike to $20,000? Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about, you know, how this affects the Bitcoin prices. And because they introduced the futures market with Chicago Mercantile Exchange, CME, and Chicago Board Options Exchange, CBOE, people can basically go and invest into Bitcoin, shorting and longing on Bitcoin without actually owning Bitcoin for the contract. So they're basically having a contract just like this, you know, like contract unit 5 Bitcoin, etc. And they are either longing on Bitcoin, believing that the Bitcoin price is going to go up, or shorting on Bitcoin, which means the Bitcoin price can go down. Now, this is what actually may have happened that contributed to a mass sell-off of Bitcoin following December, okay? So there are so-called whales, and those whales are actually in control of 40% of the Bitcoin, estimated about 1,000 people that own 40% of all Bitcoin. So imagine those people that can actually manipulate the prices together, and if they bought those contracts and they go short on Bitcoin, right, what they can do, because they have such large quantities of Bitcoin, in order to get capital gains with the shorting contract, what you need to do is have the Bitcoin price be below what the contract that you have purchased from. So what they can do is they can sell and create a massive, you know, pump before they sell. So they raise the price up by buying more Bitcoin, and then they start selling off Bitcoin right before the contract expires. So thus they can pick up the coins and on the dip, and they manipulate the price. They sell at the profit, they sell at the peak, and they also win the contract with Bitcoin shorting. So now they're kind of gaining from every angle, right? They are both having capital gains on the Bitcoin short futures contract. They also sell at the peak and they buy at the bottom. So that's one of the reasons why it happened. And you can read this article, it's very interesting. That on November 12th, like someone moved almost 25,000 Bitcoins worth $159 million at the time to an online exchange. So those whales, they can really manipulate the prices, and they can, you know, go together. They probably know a lot of those people personally, and they're talking to each other. And Roger Ver says, I suspect that it's true. They can move in concert together. You know, so that's one of the reasons why the prices went down. Apart from the Mt. Gox sell-off of the trustee of this defunct exchange, Mt. Gox, back in 2014, that sold a lot of Bitcoins on the open exchange in January 2018. So just something to be aware of that you can also do yourself. Now on the blockchain side of things, we are definitely keep seeing an innovation. So now we are putting diplomas in the university on the blockchain. That's a new startup that raised $3 million, and this way we can basically eliminate the degree forgery that is going on, with people paying money to get a degree from a known university. It's not going to happen anymore with the blockchain. Blockchain is innovating every single industry, and academic industry is one of those. And in the future, we might be bringing 3D printing to be on the blockchain. Imagine every kind of like manufacturing facility who is producing, they can communicate with each other in a decentralized ways and create cool stuff on demand. It's not yet came into reality, but it's definitely something that might be in the future. And EOS has had an astronomical rise on the cryptocurrency on all the exchanges, right? This last year it started as a project that wanted to improve upon what Ethereum is, and it started back in somewhere like mid 2017. It was traded just $1. So right now it trades at $18. So it's seen 18 times the value for EOS. Now, interestingly enough, for EOS, they are improving the smart contracts and the protocols that Ethereum, like basically what Ethereum is doing, and they're doing it in its own unique way. But their tokens are sitting on the Ethereum blockchain, the ERC20 tokens, right? That you can hold in your Ethereum wallet, like my Ether wallet. If you go to myetherwallet.com, you're going to see that those tokens you can hold like in Trezor, for example, or even connect a private key or MetaMask. Or Ledger wallet you can connect, and inside your Ethereum wallet you can hold all kinds of tokens sitting on the Ethereum wallet itself. So EOS is one of these cryptocurrencies that are sitting on the Ethereum wallet. So they've done pretty damn good, you know, considering that they are $15 billion in valuation and they don't have their own Ethereum-like network. There is still like their own coins that are supposed to be better than Ethereum are sitting on Ethereum blockchain, and I find it kind of funny. But it seems like their project has not been finished yet, right? So they are collecting the funds and they're raising a bunch of capital. They raised $2 billion in Ether. Which will probably be like a split, like a hard fork after the project is going to be finished. But they raised a huge amount of capital, so definitely keep an eye on EOS, because if EOS is going to perform just as well as Ethereum, and we can go and take a look at Ethereum when it was traded back in November. In 2015 it was $1, so that was exactly EOS but 2 years earlier, right? So it was like that, then it jumped to $100 right here. So we are with EOS, we are sitting right here, right about $18. Then it jumped to $100, $200, and eventually to over $1,000 here, and currently trading, this is the V shape, we are trading at $748. So if EOS is going to go and achieve these kind of heights, it's still a very, very good time to buy EOS right now. Then we have this conference I already talked about in New York, and you're free to attend if you can. And formal top official is considering Fedcoin to rival Bitcoin. So they're basically, Kevin Warsh is one of the nominees for running the Federal Reserve. He's basically saying that the central banks are not against cryptocurrencies, and they want to create the Fedcoin that will be backed by fiat currencies. And because most of the currencies today are digital anyways, you know, everything is numbers on the computer screen essentially, then this transition is not as drastic as it seems, and was creating this Fedcoin, and they can manipulate and still control the supply of the crypto assets. He says that most central banks' view of these crypto assets are clever, like guys in the garage did it, and it's kind of cool and risky. So while there are almost no other country. There's no country except Venezuela that is having its own fiat-backed currency, cryptocurrency, right? Venezuela was the first one to develop its own cryptocurrency called the Petro currency as a legal tender. So if Fedcoin is going to basically mitigate the financial crisis to achieve greater efficiencies. So the financial crisis is looming, guys. We are not going to probably avoid it, and it may happen this year or next year, I don't know. But some form of crisis on the US dollars and the current financial systems is going to happen sooner or later. And the fact that the Federal Reserve, which is a privately owned corporation that is issuing the US dollars, they're considering taking a Fed coin and cryptocurrency. That should say to you something about cryptocurrencies in the future and where we are all going. And finally today, the owner of the New York Stock Exchange, has been developing an online platform to buy cryptocurrency like their own exchange. It's not yet there, but if you are seeing like NASDAQ, which is huge, entering the space of trading, and developing their own exchange, and also the New York Stock Exchange, and developing their own platform, it should tell you something about the changes that we are anticipating in the global world with Bitcoin cryptocurrencies. So those are the news for today. This is Tuesday. Today at 7 p.m. My time and 12 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to do a special webinar focusing a lot on how you can prosper with Bitcoin cryptocurrencies, the best strategies and ways that you can grow your wealth with Bitcoin cryptocurrencies and create multiple streams of income, leveraging Bitcoin's Wealth Club system. And tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time, we're inviting all of you guys to participate in our open and free live coaching session for crypto trading millionaires that we are usually doing behind the doors for our paid members, to see what it is that we are doing, how much you can learn to trade cryptocurrencies yourself on your exchanges. So definitely it is open and free for everybody to participate this Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So please register, and I'm looking forward to see you tomorrow as well at 4 p.m. Eastern time on this crypto trading masterclass and our live coaching session. So those were the news for today. Hopefully have a fantastic and amazing day today, and I'm going to see you guys a little bit later on our next live stream.